What's going on, you guys, and welcome back to A Different Perspective. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button for your boy. So, we got another woke women getting called out in public video today. And if you know what we mean by woke women, which is another term for the word that starts with the feminism, that was hard to say as it is. But we're going to go ahead and check this out. Y'all boys, girls ready? I'm ready. Let's go.
Call me biased because this happened to my husband, but hear me out. So an ad came up on his Facebook for a cell phone company that was giving donations to women's shelters.
Okay.
Listen closely to his comment. He said, "Wow, it's great to see good causes like this being supported by big companies. It would be great to see the men's shelters supported as well so that we can create an equal dialogue." Super
Sounds very fair.
positive, super fair, super non-dismissive, and
Right.
frankly, he's right.
Yeah.
He was promptly attacked by women telling him to go cry about it, go put on a dress and sleep in the street in the rain and see how it feels. I don't
Wow. Ain't that a shame?
think they realized who they were talking to or how much it hurt. He's been homeless. He was kicked out at 17 and he's been on his own ever since. He's a recovered drug addict who has spent many nights on the streets. And guess what? There was nowhere for him to go because women's shelters are everywhere, but you are hard pressed to find one that will take a man, especially a 17-year-old boy. He's coming from a place of full understanding of the needs for these resources, and he has every right to ask for equality in that. And he was met with absolutely no understanding in return. If this is the kind of equality women want, count me out.
Yeah, I thought about something earlier this morning. It only makes sense for this whole feminist movement to have crumbled in the way that it has. Some of y'all might not like what I'm about to say, but the reason being is because it was started by women and it was controlled by women, and women were creating the narratives. And because it wasn't regulated correctly, meaning that it didn't have the right people in control of the feminist movement, because it wasn't regulated correctly, it got out of hand because it was almost as if, oh, what? You're a woman too? Yeah, come on in, join it. But easily those same women who their only rite of passage to get into this club was to be a woman could have gone in and destroyed everything. Welcome to what has become the feminist movement.
Count me out.
Being privileged is being able to sit at home in America and tweet from your iPhone about how oppressed you are because people don't know your correct gender pronoun. Meanwhile, in other countries, at the age of 6 years old, they're sent to mine cobalt so that you can have that lithium battery in your iPhone to tweet about how oppressed you are.
Thank you. Thank you. And there's people walking around all day long don't recognize their privilege. If you live in the US, if you're watching me right now, you are privileged. Regardless of whether you want to accept that or not. Learn how to use it properly without taking advantage of it, and your life can improve.
So I consider myself to be an anti-feminist because the modern day feminism movement attacks everything that it means to be a woman. They don't want to empower women for the things that make us different and special, like being able to give birth and raise kids. They don't even want to consider that a quality of a woman, but of a birthing person instead. Also, I don't hate all men. And I don't think that's cute, and I don't think it's funny.
No.
And I think the war on men is actually really disgusting.
Yes, it's always has been. Always has been. What you gonna do without us?
That being said, I don't think of myself as a victim. I don't think I'm oppressed because of my gender. I think I have the same rights as men, and if you have any ideas of what rights I don't have that men do, be sure to leave that in the comments. I'm
Facts.
pro-women, anti-feminist.
I like that better. That's a term that sounds a lot more acceptable. Pro-women, anti the other thing.
A man taking advantage of a woman when she's drunk is so wrong.
I totally agree. And I mean, it's so wrong when women do it to men too. Taking advantage of a man when he's drunk, financial domination, trying to appeal to his porn addiction or sex addiction, to get a little extra cash. It's really sad.
By now, I'm pretty sure we've all seen the 97% of women will be sexually assaulted in their lifetime videos.
What? I haven't seen that. 97%? That's insane.
Whether that statistic is true or not, we will disregard for the purpose of this video. Let's assume it's true.
Okay.
When men say not all men are, I don't think they're trying to disregard the issue that is clearly at hand.
Exactly. Thank you.
I think men just don't want to be classified as who are genuinely good men.
Facts.
Nor should we be classifying all men as or most men as or
Facts.
enough men as.
Right.
We need to be standing with men against,
There we go.
not against men because of.
Shut
We're
him down.
creating division right now. This is ridiculous.
Hey, not all blondes are dumb. Can't you see? Look, open your eyes.
We need to stand together, not tear ourselves apart.
That's it. That's it. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you for using your brain, young lady. Tell them how it is. God, man. She's smarter than women double her age. That's in this feminist movement.
Who falsely accuse men of should be prosecuted to the full extent.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And receive the same sentence as a...
That's crazy. Look, I paused after I said yes, right? Because in my mind, I was thinking, why not get the exact same treatment? The same sentence? It sounds a bit crazy, don't it? Well, it also sounds crazy for you to falsely claim that somebody did something so horrendous that they didn't do. You should face the exact same consequences of someone who actually did do that. Not fair, is it?
Have you ever watched a woman at a bar hit on a man and get turned down? You want to talk about not having self-control? Try a woman getting turned down. I've seen women become violent and angry and rude, all because a guy turns her down. You want to talk about not having self-control? You ever seen women grab up on men at the bar? The guy's uncomfortable and tells them to stop, and they keep going because it's flirtatious and cute.
I can't tell you how many times I've been out to either a bar or a club and a woman would just grab my butt. Just like it was perfectly okay and acceptable for her to do that. But yet, had I done that to her, oh man, all hell would have broke loose.
You're assaulting him? Flip the other side and a man did that, people will be all over him. Yep. And throwing him out.
Exactly.
So you know how women always preach that narrative that men hate women? Here's some statistics for you.
Let's hear it.
I started this week off at about 17% women following my page. As of today, I'm at 13% of women are following my page out of that 14,000 number that you see on the top of my page.
Gotcha.
So the more that I speak on men and equal rights for men, less women followers I have.
Now, that's where I thought she was going. So, truth be told, it may not be that she's losing women followers. It could just as well be that because she's gaining so many more men followers, that's why that percentage of women followers look as though it has dwindled or decreased, when in fact she could be still gaining women followers, just not at the rate that she's gaining men followers.
But yet, men hate women. Right.
I mean, no. I mean, we need y'all. Like, men ain't walking around here saying they hate something they need, but women are.
Feminist women be like, women should be free to do whatever they want. Oh yeah? But what about women with conservative values? What about women who choose to stay at home and raise their own children and be homemakers instead of boss babes? What about women who don't want to be Miss Independent? I don't even know, man. What about those?
Right, exactly. And we've seen cases where women will get upset with the woman that wants to have the traditional values, that wants to be a traditional woman. And it's like those women will fight for her. Oh no, sweetheart, you're being suppressed. You're suppressing yourself. Look what they have done. It has brainwashed you to now you want to be at home all the time? Clean up all the time? Cook all the time? Huh? Yo, they fighting for the wrong thing, man. All right. According to Feminism, full-time corporate job. The audio's not here for whatever reason. Public school teacher, professional chef.
No!
Yes, this is what I was just talking about. This correct.
Who wants to work full time, then go home, take care of the house and kids? No wonder you're all miserable.
She was one of them, huh?
Why are we still pretending that women make less for the same job as men do?
Right. Why are we pretending?
Now, yes, the national average is higher for men than versus women, but that's because men typically choose higher paying career paths, are more aggressive or more competitive when it comes to getting raises.
And they may work more hours than a woman, typically. I think they looked at it to see what was the average hours that women put in versus the average hours that men put in for a week. And I think a man was putting in about 7 hours more a week than a woman for a full-time gig.
And women, on average, tend to choose lower paying jobs or jobs that they enjoy more that tend to pay less.
Yeah.
I know, because I'm one of them. I want to be an editor. I'm never going to make as much as an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer.
Facts.
Or even a plumber. And when it comes to working the same job, women just aren't as competitive. They also tend to work fewer hours. And they take a lot more time off for kids. That's going to lead to less experience and so less pay raises.
That's it.
Be more competitive. Choose a higher paying job field. And for the love of all that is good, stop complaining.
Facts.
I have no feminism left in my body.
Hey, I love how she put that. Yo, that was slick genius. As simple as it was slick genius. I have no feminism left in my body. She's allowing her man to row, to pull her. If she was a feminist, that string wouldn't be attached. Her being behind him wouldn't be a thing. She would have to row right alongside of him. I like this. I like it. Keep it that way, baby. Keep it that way. You can help, though, when he get tired.
I think men are better than women.
She's kidding.
No, I'm not. They provide for us, and we must obey them because they are our masters.
Women love to quote the false statistic that the reason we don't have birth control for men is because the men who were in the study couldn't handle the side effects. It's their way of trying to say why men are trash and women are superior and we bear the burden of birth control. Let's shed a little light on the actual truth of that birth control study. That
Alright, see, I'm learning something here because I don't know anything about this study. Let's hear it.
study took place in 2016 amongst 375 healthy men. Yes, some men did drop out of the study because of the side effects, a whopping 20. We only focus on those 20 because it furthers our agenda. The real reason that particular birth control study didn't come to fruition is because it was halted by an independent safety review panel because that particular injectable birth control was leaving men permanently infertile against their will, and in one case, a man died.
Who were the women that was trying to use that study to push their narrative and agenda? Shame on you. That's horrible. If what she said was true, which I have no reason to disbelieve her, that study was bad. I mean, it was good that those 20 guys that pulled out early, it was good that they pulled out of that situation. They could have saved their life and saved their fertility. What? That's wild, man.
All right, I did want to respond to this comment really quickly because liberal views are all about science. Let's believe in science. So,
No, this is a false statement. Trans women are real women. Trans men are real men. Being a feminist is wanting equality for all. Do your research, please. Do your research. Because this whole entire statement is incorrect, whether you like it or not. And that's the truth.
if this holds true, then you have to agree with me that a man has an XY chromosome, whereas a woman has an XX chromosome.
You can't argue that. That's what make you a real man or a real woman. Thank you.
Therefore, our chemical makeup is actually going to be different from each other depending on our gender. And that science is not going to change because your feelings are hurt.
Did you hear that? Oh, you didn't hear that. Let me play it for you again.
That science is not going to change because your feelings are hurt. Therefore, you are actually taking away equality of women and men by putting biological men back into women's sports because they have a physical advantage over women. You have to agree with me there, right?
Only an ignorant person would disagree.
unaccompanied minors seeking asylum, you can stay. Forcing families to send their children to the border alone, therefore...
As a Latina, as an immigrant, as somebody who's gone through the process myself, as somebody who's had family go through the dehumanizing process that Biden and Obama built, ignorant people like you are the reason this continues to happen. Instead of addressing the truth, you care more about virtual signaling on social media and spreading misinformation. So these problems will never be addressed because you won't even acknowledge the problems. It's true, some of these kids are sent by their parents alone. A great majority of these kids, the ones that are held for longer than 48 hours, are held because they can't locate their parents, because the adult they were traveling with was trafficking them. Biden and Obama had no problem returning these kids to their traffickers. Because Trump issued DNA tests, these kids were not returned to their traffickers and were held for longer than 48 hours. And you could foster these kids under the Trump administration. You just don't know that because you don't care about the issue.
Exactly. I'm glad she said that. You don't care about the issue. This woman was over here spewing out information that was all based upon what she thought about it rather than actual research that she did.
The reason these kids are being trafficked is because they're used to make it appear like family units when they're crossing the border. And then they're sexually trafficked in America. An influx of illegal immigration means that more of these kids are trafficked. Congratulations, you encourage this.
When did the whole...
Ladies, keep using these brains. Keep shutting down these ignorant ladies, you know?
Oh, killing an innocent child because you can't take responsibility for your actions become a right? And I also don't support the movement Kill All Men. And I don't preach that porn is an uplifting resort for men. And I don't support the single motherhood rate that's shooting up because the government is teaching women that we just need welfare to be happy and have a family. And if you call yourself a modern day feminist and you say that you love all women, you need a reality check because you only love the women who have the exact same mindset as you. You're not pro-women and you're not pro-America. You're pro-stripping America from all of its traditional values and pushing modern day liberalism on everyone, which is the real pandemic.
Ooh! She said something that a lot of them won't even recognize. They don't even recognize what it is that they're actually doing. They need to listen to her. Crazy.
The other day I was at Target and I was looking for clothes for my son. I was in the toddler section and I saw two shirts side by side. One of them was pink and it said, "The future is female."
I almost wore this same hat today because I'm wearing this Adidas right here.
The one next to it was for boys and it said, "Goofy guy." And I just have to say, this idea that the future is female is such a load of crap.
Not only is it a load of crap, but it will do us more harm than it would good, unfortunately. It shouldn't have to be that way, but it is.
I don't know if you guys missed biology class, but in order for there to be any kind of future at all, there needs to be females and males. And I just hate this whole idea that we're teaching children, by the way, that it's a battle between men and women, who can make the most money, who can be more successful, who can run the world. It's not like that at all. No. The truth is, we work together.
Yes.
And that is how we build a successful future.
Teamwork will always make the dream work. Oh.
And that's what we need to be teaching our children.
That's why I am pro bringing your resources together. If we're talking about dating, bringing your resources together and making them work for you, your spouse, and the betterment of the family if you guys decide to have kids. Shouldn't be all put on the man. The resources shouldn't all have to come from the guy. Oh, okay, let's read this. If the woman gets to choose if the baby lives or dies, then men should be able to choose if they want to pay for the child support. Oh, yes. 100%. 100%. Equality, right? Or does equality only matter when it benefits the woman? I agree with this. Ooh, man, if I ever get into a situation, and fellas, if you ever get into a situation as well, let's say you hooking up with a female, right? And she ended up getting pregnant. And you're completely against keeping the child, but abortions are legal, right? And she decides because it's her body that she wants to keep the child, then you should be able to choose not to pay for the child support. Take that to the court. Take that information to the court. See what the judge say. Come on now. This is something we need to fight for real.
You know what's so sad is how many women, especially feminists, walk around and say, "Oh, men are so privileged. It must be so great to be a man." Yeah, it must be so great. Does nobody give a shit about your feelings? Nobody. And when you have a woman that steps up to try to speak for men's issues, oh man, society will just start to treat her the exact same way that they treat men. They'll start to make false allegations about her. They'll take down their social media. They'll silence her.
Yes, yes, yes. And this is something that I see with a friend of mine, celebrity. If y'all watch this channel enough, y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. It's exactly the same thing that she goes through almost every single day because she's fighting for men. She's speaking up for men. There are Facebook groups out there with thousands of followers that every time she makes a post on Instagram, Twitter, no matter Facebook, wherever it is, they try to get that post removed. And she has to fight every single time to get the post reinstated because they try to get her deplatformed under false grounds. They're saying she's spewing hate when in all actuality, they're the ones that are spewing hate. She doesn't spew any hate. All she does is try to hold people accountable. Male and female alike. Mostly female because shit, let's be honest, a lot of them needs to be held accountable. But still, it's not right. Y'all fight is wrong. You're trying to fight for women while tearing down men. That's not equality. What's wrong with y'all?
While praising the toxic women that are doing harmful shit in society.
Facts.
And I think that this is frustrating for me. Men live this every single day. As a woman, I have somewhat of a right to complain. But men, as soon as they say, hey, this is bullshit, they're just bitching. They're soft. They have little dick energy, right? Nah, man, it must f***ing suck to be a guy. You know why? Because nobody f***ing cares. Nobody cares about you if you're a guy. It's garbage.
You could tell she was in her feelings about this. She meant every word she said. Every word. But man, y'all, this was good. This is a good video. Shutting the modern day feminist down. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all like this video, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more. As always, the link to the video is going to be down in the description box below. If you haven't already, make sure you follow your boy on the gram and Twitter at Artofkickz. And I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. See ya.